Hello everyone. So in this video, I'd like to say about something that I just discovered. Or I just want to share about it. So, what is skills and what is profession and what is like if you find yourself that you don't know what you need to be doing, or you find yourself like what am I like what is the thing that I want to do and think about that. So this framework of understanding or thinking would kind of help you to get understand what to do better. At least this is what I find myself to be helpful for me. So first there is skills and then there is profession. So any profession that you want to do, so for example, anything that you want to do, you can think in this lines. So first, for example, you need to identify what you want to be doing. And after that, you need to identify what profession gets you there. And after that, you need to find what skills are required to get to that profession. So there are three levels here. The first one is identifying what you want to do in the long term, like what do you like yourself to be doing in the future. Like for example, you want to help a lot of people, or you want to uh, do good to the people, or you want to uh, what is your overall aim in the life, so what you want to achieve. Like this needs to be very abstract. It should not be very specific or anything. Like it needs to be like what is the overall objective or what is the overall goal of that you want to achieve in the long term, that you define your success. That is the meaning of this. So you need to define what your success is, and once you have defined that, once you have identified what you want to be doing, and for me it would be something like help lots of people or something like that. So in your case it might be something else. So you need to define what success means in your life. So you need to define that first. And once you define that, the next step for you is to identify what profession would get you in that direction that you want to go. So, for example, there can be several professions. So, profession is nothing but a skill or kind of a job. It's not exactly a job, but it's kind of a profession, a thing that you can do that leads to your success. So, you identify several professions that can be there. So, as an example, YouTube is a profession, and or at least not exactly like by definition a profession, but like by a profession, that is what it kind of means. Like YouTube is kind of it gets you there. You need to find your profession which it gets there. So for example, being a doctor or trying to be an engineer, all of these are professions, but they usually kind of get classified as some job or something like that. But profession generally means you kind of commit yourself into doing a specific thing and that which you like. So you need to, when you think about your success on what you want to be doing, just think about these professions and you need to think about different professions that would get you to that success. So in that direction, these professions need to be getting you towards that success. So for example, in my example, like if you want to help people, you can be like you can a doctor helps a lot of people. So now from thinking from the perspective of professions, like for example, you can take examples of any profession and you can think of like what does this profession take, like where does this profession take. You can think in those terms. So the first step is, as I told earlier, the first step is trying to define what your success in life is, and like what success means to you in your life. And the second step is to identify what professions will get you towards that success, or at least in that direction. And the next step for you, the third step, which I think is, which so I would say is identify the skills that is required to get to the profession. So, for example, if YouTube is your profession that you have chosen, or you have chosen some other profession, like for example, you have chosen to be uh, someone you want to help, like for example, a doctor or an engineer, or you want to like do exploration or something like that. So like any profession that you would like, and you need to think about what are the skills that is going to be taking to that profession. Like in my case, if you take as an example of becoming a YouTuber or as a profession, doing YouTube as a profession, then the skills that would take to become a YouTuber would be like video editing skills, video recording skills, like for example taking videos of things, and it's like yeah, camera thing. So that is one of skills. And video editing, then understanding the people, you need to understand your audience, like whom are you speaking to, and understand them. And these are all specific like individual skills that make up that profession. So these skills will help you to do the profession better. So as just telling that I'm doing YouTube, or I'm just doing YouTube does not make any sense. Like it is just so abstract that there's not a specific skill called YouTube. YouTube is a profession, like in the sense which I'm trying to say about. So By like in this video, like if I'm saying profession, it might not mean the exact definition of or book definition of profession, but you can understand what I'm trying to say, the abstract of profession. So it's like a collection of uh, a thing that you are doing, so that is called profession. So YouTube likewise is just a group of skills that you are using towards doing something. YouTube by itself is not a skill, it is a group or a collection of skills. So you need to identify what are the skills that would get to that profession. So in the case of YouTube, it's like video editing and video recording, and after that you have designing, you need to design thumbnails, you need to understand the people and all of these things. So this is the next step. So third step is you need to identify what are the skills that gets you into the desired profession that you found in step two. And after that, the next step is for you to work on the skills. So find each of these skills. So there are two options, or there are two of many options. So first option is you can choose like if the profession requires only some skills, like one or two skills, like specific skills, and that would get you doing the profession very well. Then you can learn into these skills by yourself. You can learn these skills, and eventually you can stack like value added skills, like you can learn more skills that gets you like that allows you or helps you to do the profession or the thing that you want to do better. So next step for you is to just keep learning the skills. So that is about these skills. So so there are, this is the first option is to learn the skills by yourself. Is another option is for you to outsource these skills. So for example, if the profession requires many skills and you only like to do, you're only skilled at only one thing that takes at requiring to make YouTube videos. For example, in the case of YouTube, so you want to also edit the videos, you want to take videos, you want to be a cameraman, you also need to be an editor, you also need to be a designer for thumbnails, you need to also understand the people, you need to be a good storyteller, you need to also narrate the things, you have to do all of these things. All of these are separate skills. Like it is not a single skill, like it's not a single thing called YouTube, but it's separate individual skills that you need to be learning to do the thing called YouTube. So you might be very good at editing, but you might not be very good at narrating what you want to say, or you might not be very good at scripting, or you're not very good at writing scripts and doing all those things. So in that case, like that is the thing that in most of the situations it's going to be something. So you might know one or two skills that takes to become something, but you don't have all of the skills at least to will do the complete thing. So, for example, for you to upload YouTube videos, that is what allows you to become a YouTuber. Like at least you can say, I upload to YouTube. You need to have at least basic level of each of these things. So, or you can kind of, in case of YouTube, you can also obviously you can use like any tools for doing the basic editing and all these things. But at an overall level, like if you're doing it at a high level, all of these things are separate domains, are separate things of part of the workflow of creating a YouTube video. So you need to be skilled at all of these things. So if you require like everything you're doing it by yourself, so it would be kind of hectic because you have to record the video by yourself, you need to edit the videos, and you have to design the better thumbnails, you need to script about what you're going to be speaking in the video, and you have to narrate the script in the video. All this goes towards that. So whether you can do it by yourself, like that is how most people learn, like while creating YouTube videos, like bigger or better videos might YouTubers might have done all by themselves and they learn by that. So you get the point of what I'm trying to say. So this is the first option, to learn everything by yourself, or you can excel at it. You can just focus on just one skill that you like. So for example, you are only focusing on editing, and the rest of the thing you can just outsource. But outsourcing has its own drawbacks. The thing is, you need to keep everything in sync, which means that like you need to synchronize between different people working on the same thing. So something that you might expect on the video editing side might not be there when you are editing or something like that, because uh, like what you want needs to be like you need to properly be in sync with what they are doing. So outsourcing kind of has that kind of thing, because you need to, it's not just one person working on the thing. Now it's like several people working on the thing. You need to kind of say properly what you want, and you need to have that communication. Because if you're doing it all by yourself, everything's inside your mind, and you can just kind of process that by yourself, and there's no external communication. So you can just instantly know what you want to do. You can know the direction of what you want, what it wants to be, where it wants to go, and all this stuff. So that is about that. So that you can outsource that. So for outsourcing, that is one of the things you have to manage the workflows, and you have to keep everything in sync. You need to keep the things in proper orchestrations. You need to be like uh, it is as properly expected. So if you want it to be like that, it needs to be in proper sync. So if you can understand what I'm trying to say, so that is about outsourcing. And there can be several other approaches. There can be a hybrid version of this also. So for smaller videos, maybe you can do everything else, but for bigger videos or for learning new things, so one or two videos you can try giving outsourcing one of the parts of the video or one of the skills or something like that. So it might be something like that, but overall these are the skills that you can understand. So this is a skills part. So this is the overall structure. So if you find yourself not knowing what to do and how do I proceed from here, I just know that I'm just there and I want to do something and I just don't find what to do. So this framework might help you. So I'm not sure if this is like the framework that you need to do work or not, right? The framework that you need to think or not, but this kind of has helped me a little bit of kind of understanding or getting some clarity about what I want to uh, do. And so I just thought it would be helpful for you if I just share it. So it's like you can kind of think like if you think about multiple things, you can just think about this framework in one point of view. You can just be like the framework here is simple. Just identify what is success, what success means to you in your life. Like it needs to be very abstract. It doesn't have to be very specific. Like for example, you want to help a lot of people, or you want to become what do you say uh, a very become very good at a specific field or something like that, or something like what success means to you in your life. And after that, you need to find the profession that gets you towards that success. And after that, you just need to find the skills that will get you uh, to do well in this profession that you have chosen. And after that, learn these skills and just focus on learning the skills. So and if you are if you're currently doing something that is completely unrelated with what you want to do or what you've identified in these steps, then you need to just identify like how you can get back on these things on what you want to be doing. I need to plan accordingly on how we can do that. So hopefully you found this video helpful, and this would be kind of a helpful one. So I thought it would be good to share this. So you might find this thing helpful. So this is the framework. It might be helpful. It's kind of not a very all in all framework or anything. It's just like a simplified version of how you can think. It's just a, a thinking framework, like in what direction you can think. So it might be helpful uh, in understanding or getting a little bit more clarity than how it was before. So this is a framework that you can think about. So that's what I like to record this video, and that just thought I could just share that it will be helpful for you. So that's what I like to record this recording. Thank you for watching. See you next.